Yo, it's the In Between the Lines podcast. I'm Shamar. That's Jay. Welcome back to another episode. Pod Squad, what's up? Jay.
My brother.
How you doing this week?
I'm sorry, my nigga, what's happening?
What's up with you, man? How's your week?
Oh, man, pretty good week. Definitely would like to hear some comments from our Pod Squad on how the shows is being released now.
Okay.
I would like a little feedback on that. I'm in favor of it. So far, so good, man.
All right, that's what's up, Pod Squad. Make sure you like and subscribe. You here right now. We're going to get right into it.
They bullshitting.
And you know who else got to prove it?
Who?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, man, bro. I'm ready this week. Talk your shit.
You ready to do
Talk your shit, bro.
So.
Wait. You sure you want to do this?
Yeah, sure I want to do this.
Okay, you go ahead.
So the Philadelphia Eagles, it is reported to have some problems between the coach and Jalen Hurts last season. I think people are blowing it up. I don't think nothing was any different than any team that was losing. I think when you're winning, everything's good. When you're losing, everything's bad. I just think that, of course, naturally you would have some gripes when you're losing, but if they go back to winning, they'll be all right then. You look at every team, like Aaron Rodgers when they was losing, didn't like it. Tom Brady when he was didn't like it. You know what I mean? Like when you lose, you have friction of what you think should be done to win. So I don't think it's nothing different of what's going on and whatnot. So I need everybody out there to stop the nonsense and stop talking about it like it's something special. I think it's just clickbait.
I hope you heard that siren because that was for your ass. This
for
bullshit ass story.
Yeah, I just think it was for clickbait. And,
well, let me click this big because I'm buying it.
Why are you buying it?
Here's why I'm buying it. And I believe we had this conversation, just wasn't on air. And this is the issue that I think Jalen Hurts is having. Your coach needs to show leadership. And this is let me say why I'm saying this. And I'm gonna take it back to last season when they did go on that losing slide. Number one, I think your coach had enough information offensively that knew that would bring your team success if they went back to what worked the year they went to the Super Bowl and damn near won. And going back to the RPO. That benefits your quarterback, your running game, and your defense because you're able to sustain drives. And what you have in a push-tush, fucking opposing defense couldn't get off the goddamn field because the Eagles always had an answer. So when y'all took that nosedive last year, and I think it was after week 12, don't quote me, but I think it was after week 12.
After 49ers game.
Okay, this is when your coach should have been coaching. And what I mean by that is he should have took over the offense. I'm not talking about play calling. I'm not talking about quarterback coaching. I'm talking about going with what you know works and understanding the way your team is actually built. Your team is built to run the football. That O-line was arguably one of the best in football. We definitely agree on that, right?
All right.
You had so much success running the RPO that took you to the Super Bowl, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys did a complete 360 last year, and I think after week 12, the wear and tear and people basically lining up against y'all every week knowing this was their Super Bowl, because y'all was targeted last year because y'all was one of the better teams. Y'all was marked. So you got everybody A game. And it physically beat y'all the fuck up. So when they got to week 12 and the offense stalled, your quarterback got frustrated. Because we should have went with what works, and it's the coach's job to see that and to intervene in a situation where they'll listen. Let's go back to the basics. Let's dial it back a bit. This is a new offense, but we're going too far off of what got us success. And he didn't do that. And it was clear to everybody that are football fans, whether you are a diehard or even a casual fan, when you watch the Eagles play football, it was physical, offensively. That shit last year, too cute. Your quarterback was exposed more. That's why he was taking as many hits as he was. And again, they played football like, okay, I'm going to bring a scheme in instead of looking at the team and say, I'm going to build an offense based on the personnel that we got and we're built to win this way because this is how we're built. Big up front, fast on the outside. You had some game changers. I just don't understand why your coach did not just dial it all back, go into what works for the quarterback and make him comfortable again. He didn't coach. He dropped the ball, bro. And I think the friction comes from there because Jalen, if you think about it, look at his coaches. his father, Nick Saban. When he went to Oklahoma, it was the boy Riley, who was now the coach of the USC Trojans. He had great coaching his whole life. So, and this is my opinion when it comes to your coach. He's more of an assistant. He's not a great coach. He's not a great coach.
All right, I'm ready to respond. First, what makes him not a great coach?
There's no adjustments. There was no adjustments last year. This is why everybody was able to catch up with what y'all was doing, and now I'm making it a game for y'all and making it hard for y'all week to week.
Okay, so the adjustments come from the offensive coordinator.
That's what the coach's input. He's watching the same thing.
Yeah, so if the offensive coordinator doesn't input the new system, you just don't change the system, because when they changed the offensive coordinator, did it change?
You don't have to change the system, my guy. You can sit here and say,
no, because
the offensive coordinator.
What you're saying is they changed the system. I'm telling you, they didn't change the system. They kept it the same, and that's what made them bad, because people knew what they was doing. They didn't change. They kept doing the same thing that they was doing the Super Bowl run this year. The only difference is they didn't. Jalen didn't let them run like they were, and they didn't definitely called too many passes. But the system was basically the same.
So at the end of the day, this is what I'm saying. I'm taking this to your coach. This is for Nick Sirianni. You're watching the same thing that everybody's watching.
Correct.
You got the biggest voice in the room. This is your team.
Correct.
This is where you say to your offensive coordinator, in this week of game planning, this is what we're going to do. We're going to run the football more. We're going to help our defense, because the defense is struggling. They're getting toasted on the back end.
Correct.
So in saying this is where your coach needs to coach.
You know the offensive coordinator got fired, right?
Of course.
So he obviously.
Oh, wait, pause. Wait. If you're going to sit here and make the point that he got fired because of that, let me say this. The only reason why your coach is still there, because I'm going to say this, and this part is, I'm guessing. I think Howie Roseman had to talk Jeffrey Lurie into not firing Nick Sirianni, because Howie Roseman's the one building this team. He's putting the pieces together. He's just counting on Sirianni to coach this shit. And honestly, last year, he failed after the success that he had the year before prior. You got the formula, my guy. Why did you do anything else? And your quarterback.
Because you lost both your coordinators. You lost the people who called the play. I think the plays were the same, but I said this from the first game. Brian Johnson didn't have game flow. He didn't understand what he was seeing. He was just calling plays. He wasn't calling the right plays. He didn't have the right game flow, and you seen it all the way up till his firing. And then by time you try it and to make the adjustments, and you see that they don't adjustments, and you put somebody else in who isn't qualified either. You didn't have nobody else to take the place because everybody had the same kind of philosophy. You tried to change the philosophy with somebody else, and that wasn't working. So it was just when you lose two coordinators, that's a big deal for offense.
Here's why I can't buy that or agree. Number one, what is Nick Sirianni?
He's a head coach.
What was he before that?
Offensive coordinator.
So let's stop right there.
Yeah.
You're watching the same game you're watching. Your lane is offense. Your craft is offense. But you're going out every Sunday watching your offense hit a wall. If it's play calling, then this is where you need. Wait a minute, Mark.
He changed the offensive coordinator. They were one loss.
Okay, listen to what I'm saying. Hold on. If this is your specialty, you should have took over this. You should have started calling plays because you see what works. So this is what I mean by coaching. Hold on. Let me see about coaching. Because the same thing happened in Dallas. And let me say this, because there's irony in this, because Kellen Moore, who was let go by the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, whose background is offensive coordinator first, then head coach, he took over the play calling. And he had a great year as an offense that he was now running. So the point that I'm making is all the success that Kellen Moore had, for some reason, when it came to third down and setting up the run, he struggled with that. And Mike McCarthy seen that. So in the offseason, when it came...
Fired in the offseason.
Hold on. Listen what I'm saying. He went to Jerry and said, listen, man, if it's on me, let me, control my own success. Get rid of Kellen Moore. I'll take over the offense because this is what I do, and I'll call plays. So now going back to the Eagles. if your coach specialty is offense, he should have been intervened and took over, Mark.
Did Mike McCarthy fire Brian? Did he fire him in the season?
Kellen Moore?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. You don't do that. Like we talking about,
you can do that.
You do not do that, but you don't do that. You can do that, but you do not do that.
So if your offense, if
your head coach,
that don't make sense.
You do not do that.
That's big. No, you can do that. It's been done.
And how did it work? Tell me the last time it worked out. You might have 1 out of 10,
bro. It's not the point. It can't get no worse. So
you
why
can't
wouldn't
fire? You can't fire. Listen,
can't buy that, bro.
You can't buy. You can't fire nobody when you lost 1 game.
No, bro, that's incorrect.
Who you firing when you 10-1? Who you firing?
Lamar, that's not what I'm saying. This is the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making. When you're watching the nosedive, it was a
6-game nosedive, bro.
Okay, so you're going to lose all 6?
You made that they intervened at the 3rd or 4th loss. What else do you want? And it didn't work.
This is what I wanted him to do. This is what I expected. Your specialty is offense. Take over the play call, and you know what works. You got the same personnel you had the year before.
By time you have that installed, you don't have everything changing it up 3 weeks in.
What are you installing?
But
you know what works.
I know you know what works, but you're not changing anything. They were doing the same thing as they were last year. They were doing the same thing. It wasn't nothing different.
So it's your job as a coach to find a new wrinkle. This is why you the coach, bro.
Right, they tried and it didn't work. I don't understand what you wanted.
Your coach didn't coach.
He did coach.
No,
he fired the offensive coordinator and
that's
he fired
called a scapegoat.
So you want him to do something? You don't want him to do something. You mad because he didn't take over?
No.
Or you find another job? If my specialty is head coaching, then that's what it is.
First of all, and you know this just as well as I do. When the motherfucking owner call you in the office and say, listen, I don't know what was going on with the offense, but it's either him or you. Of course he's going to get fired. He's going to be the scapegoat.
No.
Yes, it absolutely is.
No, what I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying it don't work like that. What's the Detroit Lions coach do? What do he do? Does he call plays? Does he call the defense?
No, he don't do neither.
He don't do neither.
Right.
And if none of them don't work, he ain't gonna hop on the door. He just gonna tell the next man up to do it. When you're already in that position, you don't do that.
Wait a minute. Then this is why
in
that argument
You brought up your point of Kellen Moore getting fired. They was doing bad during the season, right?
Yeah, his situation in football wasn't good.
Wasn't good. Did they fire him?
No.
Right, because you don't normally do that.
I'm trying to tell you, yes, you do. And
you can't even tell me a team that did it.
I'm about to tell you.
I can tell you one.
I'm about to tell you right now.
Who?
The Los Angeles Raiders.
When?
Las Vegas. Last year.
Did they make the playoffs? Did it change anything?
There was one game from the play. Yeah, it changed everything.
It didn't change nothing.
Bro, go look at their record from when Josh McDaniels was running that team and then the boy took over who's coaching now, the black boy. Look at the difference. They went on a 4 or 5 game win streak, Mark.
The head coach took over?
No, the defensive coordinator took over.
Took over what?
The team. And the head coach, wait, let me make this point.
Because
he was running
apples to oranges.
No, it's
Who
not,
got fired?
bro.
Who got fired? The head coach or the offensive coordinator?
He was both, if you let me tell you. Josh McDaniels, the former New York, England offense coordinator, won all Super Bowls. Let's stop right there. He went to Oakland as the head coach. He was still the offensive coordinator for the Raiders as well and was calling plays when they fired his ass. Absolutely. Last year.
Who fired him? The
owner.
Right. I said, when did a head coach? You keep putting apples to oranges. When has a head coach fired an offensive coordinator and took over the job? You're talking he got fired as he was the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They just replaced him all together. That's just like replacing the offensive coordinator.
So you want me to tell you
a head coach replaced the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator mid-season and it really made a difference?
Can I answer that?
Yes.
The Buffalo Bills.
That's the only one who did.
Okay, but here's the whole point. It's common, bro.
It's not common.
If you ain't getting it done, you gotta go. It's football.
It's not
short
common.
window.
But here's another wrinkle. The Buffalo Bills were losing. The Philadelphia Eagles were winning.
But when they started losing, this is your time.
It was only 6 games.
What the fuck?
They were still in the playoffs. He made the change after 3 or 4. Like, you lost half the game. All right, we might lose 1. You lose 2. You lose 3. Now we got to make the change. You don't just make the change off of 1 loss, do you?
He didn't have to.
Do you make the change off of 1 loss?
No, but it's not a change you're actually making. It's not, Mar. You're not making a change. The offense is going to stay the same. The issue you was having was the flow of the game. When you talking about firing somebody, I understand that you really don't want to disrupt the team in that way. So you'll take his responsibilities away. And it's been many times where Belichick has done this many times. He took the reins from his defensive coordinator and he started calling the plays because he didn't like the situational football that was going on. Like, it's common. So what I expected from your coach, as he's watching this tailspin, to sit here and say, listen, we got to do things a little bit different. We need to go back, and this is what I mean by just down the back. Go back to what was effective that got you in the Super Bowl. If it's a game flow problem, then won't you start scripting your plays? Like, there's so many answers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he changed the coordinator and probably put that in, and it still didn't work. Just because it didn't work doesn't mean he didn't do it.
But we also don't know to what extent he tried.
Well, obviously you do, because you're saying he didn't do it.
Well, this is where I was disappointed, because as we watching this, and I feel like, you got a good fucking team, bro. It's the same team you brought back from the Super Bowl. And saying that, as I'm watching this shit, and I am not a fucking Eagle fan, I'm saying to myself, why is Jalen Hurts in a 7-step drop back? That's not his game. That's why he was getting sacked. This is not his game. Dropping back 7 yards, looking down, going through 4 reads, that's not his game.
Correct.
So in saying that, the coach is watching this.
But
and this is
he did that in the Super Bowl, right? He just the offensive line just held was one of the best, and he was less sacked. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you know the Eagles, the system wasn't really different. The play calling was just, the game flow was just different. It was just bad calling at this wrong play of time. Like, you would be like, well, here come a run, and your run's supposed to be, and they call a pass. Like,
so you got an issue with the play calling.
I had an issue with the game flow. Like, he didn't have a feel for the game. You could be a great play caller, but if you don't have the flow for the game with what's going on, just like if you defensive call, if you don't know what's going on, you don't have a feel for the game, then you don't. And that's what I think Brian Johnson didn't do, and that's what I think the defensive coordinator did. Neither one of them had good game flow.
Well, I have a suggestion.
Sure.
Your coach is an offensive mind. If he understands game flows and situational football, at some point you should expect him to take over the play calling.
No, because I can understand. This is what I'm saying. I can understand if he say, some people don't excel at the next level.
What they got to do with his team losing every week now? And it's so much
talent. They lost
talent.
6 weeks, and I don't understand how you don't get this. They were losing. If you're 10-1, you don't fire nobody.
You ain't got to fire nobody. Just take the reins.
You're 10-1. Take the reins of what? You're winning. You're 10-1.
You just had an issue with game flow, correct? It's been an issue all season, correct?
Correct.
So let's stop right there.
You're winning.
Mark, can I finish the point? It doesn't matter if you win. If you see a problem and you can anticipate at some point it being a problem, or you start to see the pattern of the problem, you need to address it.
So how do you know he didn't address it? And how do you know that Brian Johnson just couldn't adjust?
Well, this is what we do know.
So we do know he got fired, right?
No, this is what we do know. He didn't start calling plays. The offensive mind, who is the coach, he should have.
He might not be good at it. Once he started off, he came into the Eagles as the offensive coordinator. He realized that ain't my program. I said, I can't do both. I'm gonna do the head coach and I'm gonna get somebody. So if you know your limitations, why do you want him to be something that he already said, you know what, I'm the head coach, I'm gonna get somebody else to do it. You want him to be something that's in your mind. He already knows that, hey, I can't do both. So why do you want him to do both to please you? I'm trying to win games, so I'm going to get somebody who's focused on the offensive coordinator position, and I'm going to get them to do it. I'm a delegate. I know how to run the team. Just like the boy at Detroit, I know how to run the team. That's what I'm good at. What I'm good at, that's what I do. I'm not going to try, and just because I've done it, I'm not going to say, I need to do it. No. I'm going to put the people I think is best position. He tried to go with Brian Johnson. He probably tried to adjust to him. Brian Johnson couldn't adjust. So eventually what happened? I have to fire him. The next guy up, no better. Wash season. That's how it happens.
But even still, and it's again, we're definitely not going to agree on this because your coach should have done more coaching, and he did not. So even if you make the point just now like you did, this is something when he first got to the Eagles, he realized he wasn't good at. So let me say this. You still have the offensive knowledge. And at the same time, too, if you recognize that you wasn't good at that particular moment, you also have to recognize the things that can make you better if you take another moment or another stab at it. You're not going to make the same mistakes. Because, again, the issue you're having with your team now.
You're getting caught up in him being the offensive coordinator.
I'm caught up in when it was your time to coach, you didn't coach. You let your team down. So that is the riff I think you're having with your quarterback.
If I know I'm bad, why would I put? If I feel as though that I'm not the best person for the job, you want me to just put it there because I can? That's selfish.
No,
that is selfish.
What I expect from you, especially if I'm the leader of this team, and I got guys counting on me and looking at me for answers because we struggling right now. I expect for myself to keep going at it because I don't want to let them guys down.
So if I'm in the game and I can't shoot threes and we down by 6 and I keep shooting threes, I'm supposed to do that, or should I let the person who know how to make threes shoot it?
Well, first, now we talking about basketball.
No, I'm just saying it's an analogy. I'm sure you could correlate that.
Yeah, I can.
If I'm not a good 3-point shooter, should I take the threes?
But look how you presenting that. So it's not really
It's really a question. If I'm not a good 3-pointer shooter and I got an excellent 3-point shooter here, who should take the 3?
Mark, that question, that's a goofy question. Here's why. You know offense. This is what you do. So in saying that, hold on.
I can know offense, but I'm just not good at threes.
So in saying that doesn't mean you stop shooting them. Because one thing about a shooter,
who puts you in the best position to make a 3-pointer? A 3-point specialist or a regular player? Just answer that for me, just so I know where we at.
An offensive mind can create that play caller.
I can.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. He can get you free.
Who takes the shot?
Anybody that's capable of shooting a 3.
Yeah, it's semantics now.
Yeah, because again, the way you present the question.
I'm not presenting it.
Because they're all talented.
They're all talented, but who is in the better position to do it?
It all depends how he schemed open.
Oh my God. Who is in a better position to make a 3-pointer? Steph Curry or Joel Embiid?
Mark.
They both can shoot threes. Who's the better 3-point shooter?
Okay, now that's what you need to ask. Who's better?
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Who's the better offensive coordinator? Mine. If I
listen.
think he's better than me at offensive coordinator, I'm going to put the better person in there. I don't understand.
Here's why it's not the same thing. I'm going to tell you why. Because if the defense knows that, here's the point. If the defense knows he's the better 3-pointer, he's going to get the most attention. So it'll be Joel shooting the shit. Because 3 motherfuckers is on Curry.
I understand that.
So that's not, so from football, let me say this. You are the offensive mind. That we established that. So if I'm
not good at it,
then you're not an offensive mind.
I'm the head coach. I put other people who's the offensive mind in there. I don't understand how you don't see
Your
that.
background is offense.
Doesn't matter.
You just got a different job title now.
I'm the head coach now. I feel as though that I have people in position that's better at me to do that.
That doesn't mean you lost your talent, sir.
That means I have people in position who's better than me. I want to put people who's better than me.
Well,
I think he calls plays better. If I think he's better fit for the team to succeed, I'm going to do that.
Okay, but if
it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out.
So if it doesn't work out, and this is what you do before you became the head coach, then won't you intervene to get it back on track? Because this is what you do. This is how you got the job, being an offensive mind. That's not a hard thing to figure out.
No.
He has to figure that out.
No.
Because he's watching his team every week
go 10-1.
Lose week after week.
And he made the change.
Okay. Well, I'll pitch you like this.
I can see if he didn't make the change and he went with the guy all the way through. I can understand that one. Okay. He made the change that he thought was best.
So let me ask you, what you think the riff is between Jalen Hurts and him then?
Losing.
So wait, I'm glad you said that. Now here's the point. Jalen Hurts is upset because of losing last year the way they did. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, like every quarterback duo, head coach duo does.
So
when the losing comes, the problems arise.
Now, did you hear Jalen? That's your assumption, or you heard Jalen Hurts say that?
That's my assumption.
Okay, that's fair.
I told you I don't believe it's true.
Okay.
I just believe that in general, bad things happen when you lose.
Okay.
No matter what sport.
Okay, so now you tell me, why would you be mad particularly? We know y'all was losing. But why would you particularly be mad at your coach while y'all was losing?
Why would I be mad?
Yeah.
Maybe he fired somebody who didn't want to be fired. Maybe he hired somebody he didn't want to hire.
All right, let's take that one away. What else?
That's pretty much it.
That's
if they win it,
explanation.
Did he have a problem with his coaching when they was winning?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did you hear these conversations when they went to the bowl? We do know that.
They was literally winning, and the offense was very effective every week.
All right, so did you hear these conversations?
No.
Right, so that's my point. When you lose, you always hear those type of conversations.
Okay, but the issue that I'm trying to find out is, what is Jalen Hurts actually mad at him about? So in saying that, and this is my assumption, I'm assuming because Jalen Hurts is the competitor that we see him to be, and very even kill. That young man is very even kill. He don't get too high, he don't get too low, which is a great attribute. And I don't think he would honestly reveal that to the public why he was actually upset with Sirianni, in my opinion, because he's professional. And his dad's a coach, so he know how to talk and, be, have charisma and dealing with the media. I think, and it's my opinion from watching as a fan, that he's upset with the coach because he personally feels like the coach let the team down. And this is why your coach right now, if he don't get it done this year, I absolutely guarantee, and I'll bet the house on this, he's going to be fired. So this is what has to happen for y'all this year. Is either NFC Championship at the very least, or he's going. You know why? And you said it last week. Look at that fucking roster.
Yeah.
He supposed to win.
Supposed to win.
So now you don't have an excuse. Fuck the offense coordinator. Fuck defense coordinator. Get it done.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Your coach is on the same seat.
Yeah, but no.
If you don't win,
but
that's what it
within
is.
your organization, I think, and I did hit it. Lurie wanted him fired. How we saved him? Give him one more year. He went to Super Bowl the year before. They ended the season awful last year. Damn it, bringing back the same team. So in my opinion, Jeffrey Lurie said, you know what? Get that motherfucker out here, because I don't like how he handled the losing and what he was saying in those press conferences and making an excuse on why we were losing. Yeah, and I think how we said, wait a minute, let's revamp some things. Let's get some of these deals done. Let's intervene, and let's give him one more shot, because we know what's out there. Bill Belichick.
I don't want no Bill. They don't want no Bill.
You don't? Okay. Don't be surprised.
I will be surprised.
Well, there was a talk last year. When
it was not the talk.
Well, when they was talking about firing Sirianni, and was that talk? Was
ESPN was talking.
That was in the city too.
That wasn't in the city. They talking. They wasn't.
The whole city.
He was not considered. He was not considered for the Eagles job. You know why? Because they like to. They don't want to give up control to a coach. He was never in no way, shape, or form going to be an Eagles head coach. Okay. He's too strong-minded and wanted his way. That's not what the Eagles do.
Well, let me ask you this.
I don't care what ESPN said or what they tried to hype up on the radio. It wasn't even a thought in their mind.
Let me ask you this, and this is a question for you. Say Sirianni do get fired this year. Mm-hmm. Who would you like to see as coach?
Kellen Moore's going to take it.
You think he's ready to be a head coach?
Kellen Moore's going to take it.
Do you think he's ready to be a head coach?
I don't know. I got to see. I don't know if any of these guys is ready to be a head coach.
I'll say this.
It's all a gamble.
I'll say this. I followed Kellen Moore's career. He was with the Cowboys offense coordinator for 6 years. I know his game. I know his scheme. But when you talking about a head coach, this is my opinion, he's not ready.
He's going to be a head coach. Because if he does well in this system,
that's cool.
If he does well in this system, he's going to be a head coach.
What you mean in the system? Is his system?
In this system, if he does well in this system.
You mean if the players does well in his system? That's what I hope. That's
yeah.
Okay. Oh no, I'm
players
serious.
do well in his system. Sure. He's going to be a head coach somewhere.
So this is what I'm taking from that statement.
So he has a shot to, even if they win it, he has a shot of still being a head coach and they bumping up Nick Sirianni to a higher title.
With the organization?
Yeah.
I don't think Lurie's a fan. I'm just keeping it being.
A fan of who?
Sirianni.
Doesn't matter. Just a title.
What he bringing?
He brung him a Super Bowl berth a couple of years ago. If he bring him another Super Bowl berth, it would be good. What are you talking about?
This is what I'm talking about. Well, if he don't get
did he like Doug Peterson?
Is he going? If he don't get it done this year, he's going. He's fired.
I just said yes.
So
it'll be Kellen Moore.
So when you talking about bumping him up to the front office, I don't see that. He's going to be
bumping him up if they have a positive season. If they don't win the bowl and they have a positive season, I can see them bumping him up and keeping Kellen Moore. Just if Kellen Moore has a good thing and starts to get hired for a job, because one of the hardest things to do is keep assistants that's not head coaches, because they can get plucked to go be head coaches. So if Kellen Moore has a great year in this system with the players, then he's going to garner head coach positions. And the only way to keep him is either overpay him or make him a head coach. And if they do good but not win the bowl, they can still bump Sirianni to a higher position, just hire Kellen Moore as a head coach to keep the system intact. I don't think they'll fire him if they have a great season. If they go to the NFC Championship and lose, I don't think they fired Nick Sirianni.
Really?
No.
Even after last year?
Depending on how they lose. No. Because he went to the bowl. What do you mean? Depending on the year before then.
Well, in saying that, I get that you went to the bowl, but that's part of the disappointment on how it ended last year.
Again, if it looks good through the whole year, I don't see them letting them go. Okay. If it looks bad, then yes. either way, I see Kellen Moore becoming the head coach.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because
if he does good in Philly. If the system is trash, then no, I don't see a problem with them letting him go.
He got looks as a head coach, other opportunities, but he never got the job. And I think there's a reason for that. Mm-hmm. No, I just really think there's a reason for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah,
couple more weeks,
and hopefully, when it comes to my team, it ain't that great on paper, but as long as we beat them Eagles twice, I'm happy. That's my Super Bowl. Fuck it. And yeah, get ready to coach.
All right. Well,
you know, last year's contract. So it's quarterback. So it's gonna be interesting.
It's definitely gonna be interesting.
It really is, bro.
Can't wait for it. And you know what else I can't wait for? Y'all to subscribe and like, man. Definitely. Pod Squad. We need you to step up, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Another great episode down. Gonna be some great content, especially this one. It's gonna get some.
Are you ready for some football?
Definitely.
So you talking that shit? I was trying to be. I was gonna wait till week 1.
Nah. We gotta start it now. It's football season now. You know what I mean? But it's the In Between the Lines podcast. I'm Shamar. That's Jay. Another episode down. Pod Squad, step up. Want to hear from y'all. We'll talk to you again next week. Peace.